Hi, I'm Mel Haynes, and you're watching the lab setup video for the Advanced SQL Server 2008 Database Administration Training. My lab setup is, first of all, I'm running SQL Server 2008 Enterprise Edition 32-bit and the Windows Server 2008 32-bit. If you pull that from the Microsoft website, you'll be getting the R2 release today. But both of those are available for free for a 180-day evaluation, so you don't have to fork out any cash for those. Next, you'll want to create a Windows Active Directory domain. For any of the videos where I have multiple instances of SQL Server communicating, such as in the log shipping or replication, they're all part of a domain. As far as the hardware I use is more than you'll typically need to follow along. For example, in my host operating system, I actually have 8 gig of RAM, but in addition to all of my VMs, I'm also running all the screen capture software, so you won't necessarily need quite that much. For example, my individual VMs, each instance only has 512 megabytes of RAM, so I only allocated 512 meg for each VM instance. So each SQL Server instance is running in a virtual machine with only 512 megabytes. My processor is a 2.83 gigahertz processor. Microsoft recommends a 2.0 for SQL Server 2008 Enterprise Edition. So I'm a little above that, but once again, that's allowing me to run the multiple instances without any delays. Jumping over to my VM instance, after you've set up Windows Server 2008 or Windows Server 2003, you can actually use that as well, you'll want to copy the course files folder from your CD and put it in the root of your C drive on your server. That'll give you all the scripts you need to create your database and follow along with any other samples. It's important that the path actually be the same as I have here. If you need to change that, you'll want to go inside of the files and actually physically change those. For example, in the Veronica's database, if you go into the .sql file, opening that, you scroll through that, you'll see that the path to the actual CSV files is in the file. You'll need to update each one of these if you decide to change that path. But if you leave the path as is, you'll be set to go. But that's the basic setup for this course. So if you have that, you should be able to follow along with all the labs in this course. So I look forward to seeing you in those videos.